Um, you're live. Okay, now, where did it go? Okay. Um, Good evening, everyone. I am Noreen Snyder, your host for Have a Chat with Poet Noreen. And my guest tonight is Robby Matejko, aka Robby's Multimedia Poetry. He's from Canada. I will read a note from Robby. Um, from my earliest days, I've been what most would call a polymath or Renaissance man. I loved fields of endeavor in both the sciences and the arts, which some have pointed out to me can be rare, and I take a unique joy in my mind having a lifelong engagement in both the arts and the sciences. From the art side, my lifelong passion has been reading, and scientifically, my lifelong passion has been astronomy. Poetry did not come to me right away. What what lit the passion for that was when I wrote a poem about my uncle when he passed away. That was during my early university days, and I wrote a large volume of poetry after that. I stopped for a while, then came back to it when I discovered Blog Talk Radio. There were many shows I listened to and participated in for a while, like Word Beat, B Sharp, and my main show, the Speakeasy Cafe, with Nyla Alisia. I feel that I come to embody Nyla Alisia's advice: in order to have output, you need input. I read so much in both fiction and nonfiction, and it provides so much fuel for what I want to write. I recently developed enduring interest in photography, electronic music, ethnic percussion, biking, martial arts, chess, and math. I hope to integrate these all more thoroughly into my life. I come to finally have the space to explore myself and my interests after many personal struggles have been somewhat resolved and the pandemic is at least at present setting. And I come to realize that I have even more interests than I realize. I wish to someday pursue more physical activities broadly under martial arts, such as fencing, a martial art form, and archery, and I wish to learn other languages, such as my native tongue, which is Polish and French, so that I can read one of my favorite poets, Charles Baudelaire. Where I live, I've been involved in poet musician nights, included by conducted by Tracy Hopkins, having even co-hosted an awards night at one point, and I've done some presentations with the Writer Circle, which has a different member present each month. Fellow writers locally, such as Mosley, have inspired me, and many online poets and musicians have inspired me as well, such as Star Severon, Jimmy Ray Davis, aka Word Machinist, Tanya TK, Felix Kaplan, and Jaja. Jimmy Ray Davis once said of my dark poetry that while it is dark, it offers a way out. My influences in literature include H.P. Lovecraft, Clark Ashton Smith, William Blake, William Wordsworth, and Shakespeare. In terms of my poetry, I have shifted my focus from time to time. I started out with love, sensual, and erotic poetry, with a small core of dark poetry that would read and write mostly during Halloween. I had a secondary focus on metaphysical poetry. These days, I focus less on the love, erotic, sensual, and more on the metaphysical, but in a more inventive way, where I try to have more fun with it. The end. And that was from um uh, Robby. Okay. And okay. Let's give a warm welcome to Robby Matejko, aka Robby's Multimedia Poetry. Good evening, Robby. It's an honor.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. It's an honor to have you here and have a chat with poet Noreen. Welcome to the show. How are you, Robby?
Well, I'm not too bad. Excited to be here for sure.
Okay. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Okay. And okay. Elizabeth said okay. Oh, Star is here too.
Hmm.
Star is here. She said yo yo. Oh, you okay? You already answered. And then Elizabeth said profound biography.
Well, thanks.
Profound biography. Elizabeth is Guerra Castillo, and I see um Tantron IQ.
Tentronic.
Yeah, Tran-
Tentronic. Yeah.
Tantronic.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's my friend Tanya. Hey, Tanya. Thanks so much for being here.
and Max Winnet is here too. Max Winnet, a poetess. Elizabeth Esguerra Castillo. We know Daryl is here. Daryl Daryl oh Daryl Hallenjack.
I'll have to do this for Tanya. Hello. She'll understand what that means.
Okay. 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 Well, I got, okay. Okay. You said that your first poem, okay, that you wrote was about your uncle who passed away. And what made you continue on in writing poetry after you wrote that your first poem? Mhm.
Well, it's one of those things that it really was
Mhm.
an organic process. Like it wasn't that in and of itself was what made me do it, because after I did that, it's like the dams just opened. It just didn't stop. It just, once it started with that, it just came and came and came.
Mhm. Wow. Okay. And okay. And well, for the ones who's coming on here and hearing you for the very first time, tell more about you, more about yourself.
Well, let's see.
Mhm.
Like I mentioned a couple of things in the bio, especially right now, I'm really into biking. I used to do biking on and off or fairly regularly in
Yes.
the past, but now it's even more so. They're just I get that, like, they talk about a runner's high, and you yeah, you get that when you bike too, and you I find just that I can really get that rush just like a runner does when they're biking, and I've gotten that even more when uh, when I've biked now,
Yes.
and
Yes. Mhm.
so it's something that's really made me stick to it, and
Mhm.
it's just very very therapeutic for me, and I haven't done a lot of it's in flux. All this stuff I do my photography, but not as much. But then something else takes over, like more music or a certain type of music. So yeah, everything's kind of just goes on and off. One thing recedes, another comes up.
Mhm. Yeah. Because bicycle riding is so relax can be relaxing, and
Mhm,
it feels good. I used to do that, but I don't do that no more.
mhm.
Not around here. Not a good idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If it gets too hot, it gets risky.
Yeah. Okay. And I know you told me that you don't have any books published. Are you thinking about publishing your books in the near future?
I think the near. or medium term future. I had attempted to do so in the past, but I just didn't find the right publisher. Like it wasn't a great experience for me, and I do want to try again, but I really want to make sure that this time that I get the right person, or that the process is smoother, because it turned to be more of a stress than I would have wanted. And when you're doing something like a book, it's supposed to, well, there's in some inevitable stresses with it, but you want it to be joyful too, right? A joyful
Right.
process. So just want
Oh,
to make sure that there's that in there too.
yes. Okay. Okay. What projects are you working on now?
Well, not formal projects per se, but I do have some goals. Like I've been doing my outside of the arts. I've been plugging away still at my math class, but I mean artistically with everything that I do. Uh, well, I keep meaning to, and I'm gonna have to get to editing my poetry more, because
Yes.
I have so much now, and I don't edit it for content. Once a poem comes out of my mind, that's it. That tends to be what it is. But I really need to edit the grammar and such. So there's that. And music wise, I want to practice more on something Kalimba,
Yes.
and it's like the finger piano, and it's something that I come to I just adore it. Yeah, I love it almost as much as I loved the Egyptian tambourine when I first came upon it. So music
Wow.
wise, I want to work on that and my violin.
Wow. That's awesome. Oh, and you have an offer here from Max Lynette, a poetess. She said, Brother Robbie, I would like to help if I can. Publisher here with Amazon KDP. She
Oh
said
yeah, I
that
just saw that
she's going
come
to
up.
help
Yeah,
you.
I'll have to check into that for sure.
Okay. Okay. And you can unfriend her too. Her name is Max Lynette, a poetess. Okay. Okay. And she's really honest and she's really good and she knows what she's doing. Yep. I truly recommend her. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Okay. And okay. Um who are your favorite poets and why? Mhm.
Well, I had mentioned a bit in the bio, but Charles Baudelaire, he's a French poet,
Yes. Yes.
and he's just I can't even use the word unconventional, because I don't think that does it justice. He's
Yes.
just, I don't know, I'm trying to find the word.
Mhm.
Like he's a very much a bohemian, and he's very much he was kind of the rebel spirit, and but it's kind of almost metaphysical at the same time. So I really like that.
Mhm.
William Blake, because of his focus on nature, and our connection with nature. And I love H.P. Lovecraft, both for his poetry and his writing.
Yes.
And same with Clark Ashton Smith. Probably not too many people know Clark Ashton Smith, or not as many, but he's along the same vein as H.P. Lovecraft. He's so what I would call cosmic. And
Mhm.
I remember I had read one of his stories, The Beast of Averoigne, and
Yeah.
I never had that experience before, where I said to myself, you know what? This was an awesome story. I loved it. But I think I'm going to stop at this story tonight, because if I read another one of his stories, I'm probably going to have nightmares. But
Oh,
that told me how impactful his work is.
wow. Wow. I need to study him, check him out too.
Mhm.
Okay, sorry, Baudelaire, right? Because I looked at,
It was the most recent one
oh,
I was just referring to, was
yes.
Clark Ashton Smith. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and
Okay.
the first one I mentioned was Charles Baudelaire.
Yeah, sorry, Baudelaire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And, And what is your favorite topic to write about and why? Because I know you said there's some things you write about, but now what do you like to write about? And
Oh well, I've written just about everything. It kind of comes and goes, my tastes, but like overall, throughout it all, I like to go with metaphysical poetry. It's
yes,
kind of, for me, it's almost like the basis that underlies so many other things and so many other forms of poetry. So
hmm
it's definitely, even though I vary in what my focus is from time to time, I find that metaphysical poetry is kind of like the one that I go back to the most. Or, if I'm like just having a lazy day and it's I'm not too sure what poem to write, I'll usually write a metaphysical one.
yeah, yeah. That sounds like awesome. Okay. And what do you prefer to write? I mean, in the form, you like free verse or traditional? I mean, structured form.
Well, I've come to evolve what Nyla would call a semi-free verse, and I
Hmm
noticed that myself. I noticed that kind of. I can't remember if I noticed that before she mentioned that or after. I think it was a little bit before she said that. But
hmm
and semi-free verse, it's kind of like there isn't a formal structure to it, but it has a rhythmic sound to it. So it's a kind of a curious in between.
hmm Okay. And oh, and Daryl also said um A Street Press and oh, first of all, okay, Max Winnett said, "Oh, thanks, Noreen." Max Winnett, a poetess, and then Daryl said, "8th Street Press in Wichita Falls, Texas, found me and they asked me to publish my new works. Check it out." And
Okay,
Daryl said, "It's great."
I see that I'm not shy.
Yep, and Star said, "What's going on, Robbie? You're not shy."
No, I've never been known to be shy.
Okay. She asked, "What's going on?" Okay. Oh, and I know about your curtain back of you, but for the ones who don't know about it, and tell them more, we like to hear more about that because
Oh,
I thought that was awesome. Your curtain behind you. That
well, it's a one that I bought recently. It's the Om symbol, as far as I can see, from Buddhism, which is uh, like the symbol for peace. And it's one of those things that I've been meaning to get it for a long time anyway, like some sort of a backdrop for my place, like to divide it out, because my place is just like one room, and I felt the need to at least have the kitchenette area divided from the living room area, and kind of separate that out because I kind of want them to be distinct spaces. And I thought, well, if I'm doing this show, I may as well get it, and now's as good a time as any because especially with the newer webcams, they have like a such a wide field of view, and everybody would see everything. They'd see my bed, they see the back of my kitchen, and uh, so yeah, I thought, yeah, may as well.
Okay. That is beautiful too.
Thanks. It's just
You
when I
are
got it
very
and when I
welcome.
put it in, it just felt right.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Um, and next when it said the represents Namaste. I love it. Okay. And okay, before I ask any more questions, and Tatrani,
Hmm.
how you say her name? Tatrani,
Antronic.
Tatrani. She said is also electrical.
Hmm.
Hmm Yeah. Okay.
I gotta give a special shout out to her. I want to give
Okay.
a special shout out to her and Star because they've both been good friends of mine. Star's been a friend of mine for so long,
Yes.
and you know, uh, she was talking in the show with her show about being like me being a support, and she's been there through all these years too.
Yes.
We've known each other for so long through through blogtalkradio, and
Mhm.
and then also Tanya. She's the way things have gone with when we chat and everything. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a friendship in compressed time. It's like I feel like we've connected, in a way, or like almost the same level, like people that have been friends for like three times as long or something.
Yep. Wow. Mm.
The owl pillow. Yes, I love owls.
Oh.
The wise old owl sat in an oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Why can't we be like that wise old bird? One of my favorite folk tale things. Yeah, the owl means something big to me. So,
Mhm. And okay,
oh, hey, Janet.
and Janet Dawson made it too.
Hmm.
Hello, Janet. That is awesome. Okay, okay. And before we do any more interview, you want to read some of your poetry?
Sure.
Okay,
So,
okay.
I kind of typed out a bit of everything. Like, I
Mhm.
chose something from a lot of my genres just to
Yes.
kind of cover the bases. So,
Mhm.
the first one I'll read is I Dream of Satellites.
Okay.
Okay. I dream of satellites as their mysterious orbits intersect with my thoughts, ellipses of cosmic engrams transmitting in me, speaking to both the Venus and Mars of my soul.
Mhm.
I dream of these satellites in daydreams at day, and I look upon them at night. As I wonder upon them, wishing I could wander as they do, as they careen through the inky void of space. What a dream is the dream of satellites, as they make the music of the spheres in minor keys, as their orbits intersect with each other, tugging at my soul as the moon does tug at the sea each night. I want this dream to be mine forevermore, as scores and scores of dreams they pockmark my mind, oceans of thought in my soul as numerous as the marina found upon them. Those wanderers of the night that crossed into the parallax of my vision, leaving both my mind and soul so utterly refined. I hope to impart this dream to everyone, this dream of mysterious bodies that hold the history, the record of existence upon their bare and rocky skins. And as I look upon them now, I ask you, O fellow wanderer, what is it that satellites dream?
Wow. I like that. I love that.
Thanks.
That is beautiful. Okay. You're phenomenal. You're a phenomenal poet. Awesome.
Thank you, Noreen.
You're very welcome. Okay. You have another one you like to read? Because
um,
I know you said you have about 22 you printed
yeah,
out.
and I'm not gonna read like I usually what I do for shows like this is I print tons, I print plenty, like more than I'll need,
Yep.
but then I just see where I'm gonna go
Hmm.
with it and how many I'll read. But I always like to get more ready than I have to,
Yep.
just to be ready.
Yes.
So sacrifice to the raven.
Okay.
Sacrifice me to that eldritch spirit, trickster of the cosmos. Your call calls to me in unknown ways. My spirit hangs from Odin's tree in sacrifice to you, to gain your mysterious power, sharpness of perception impossible to mortal eyes. The runes of your divination ruin self deception, as conception of truth is brought into sharp focus. The loci of your mysterious sounds, calling forth a dark but invigorating magic that ruins the ruins of all lies. My sacrifice is secret and known only to you, O dark spirit of the sky, as my body pulses and pries forth at the walls of eldritch magic, to bring forth your mysterious might. Call to me with your mysterious voice of your desires, for my servitude to you on this earthly plane, so that the pain in my heart may be taken away, the pain that comes from the ache and escape of limitation, a release and liberation from earthly cares and concerns.
Wow. I love that one.
Thank you.
And okay, you're welcome. You're very welcome. And Star Severon said, exquisite dreaminess.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, that is a beautiful.
I have a big connection to animals, especially once I started doing photography. I started to appreciate nature and animals a lot more. A friend had a long time back had suggested photography as, or so, well, sorry, it was kind of a dual thing. She had suggested going out for nature walks and that, and I started doing that. But then I started integrating photography into it, and the two of them synced up so well. It made me appreciate the nature, and then I took photography of that nature. So the two of those things really lined up, and I kind of look at animals like guides.
Yes.
So that's a part of how I look at things.
Mhm. And Daryl said, when I heard your first poem, I floated across the heavens. Great.
I always good to make somebody feel like that with your
Yes.
writing. It
Yes.
makes you feel good if you know that you've made them feel good.
Yes, it sure does. Yep. And then and that's when it said, I love this, a multi-dimensional poet.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Okay. And you also play musical instruments. Which one is your favorite?
Oh, that would be. I'll show you.
Okay. Can you play it for us? We would love to hear you play. Don't you all? Everyone
Ooh,
out there,
this
you all
one's.
want to hear you play?
I'm gonna see if the other one's
I
okay
do.
because that one was flat, really flat. Well, it's the Egyptian tambourine, the rick. It's where did I go off the? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm gonna go to the other thing here because
Okay.
drags behind a little bit. Yeah, I have like this is my bigger Egyptian tambourine.
Yes.
This is my smaller one. Normally I play it, but it's flat sounding now because the weather. But
Oh,
I'll play something briefly that I have that gives an example of that. Mainly, like overall, what I like for me, Egyptian percussion and frame drumming is something that I love. And this is a
oh,
rain, like they call it a rain drum because it's got those beads. And it gets that
wow.
effect. So you get like,
Wow.
well, I tried to do the drone tone on that, but it's a weird skin.
Wow. And you showed me that one day you showed me this one instrument. It looked like a keyboard. It was real small. You use your you know
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
is that?
That one's called the kalimba.
Kalimba. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's a like a finger. They some people call it the finger piano.
Yes.
Yeah, and you pluck it like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's become a recent favorite of mine.
And Tom Tronic says finally I get to hear talk about you playing the music.
Yeah, yeah. I don't get a chance to play for other people much these days. This necklace here, it's some sort of type of stone. I'm not too sure which one though. It's a decorated stone. Like you can't really oh, bring it up to the cam just quickly.
Okay. Okay. Mhm. Mhm.
Let's see. It's got like design on it. It's like a
Wow.
some sort of stone, and I thought I'd wear it for the show. And I have like a collections that from things I've gotten from friends, but also for myself of stones and that. And actually, Starhead got me Peacock Ore, which is one that I just fell absolutely in love with. It's synced up with me. It was like, this is my stone. So
Yep. And then Tom Tonic said, "Is it okay to say I want the bigger one?" Oh, good. And she was talking about your
the big drum, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's that ocean drum. I should have. I don't know if I called it rain drum, but yeah, it's ocean drum. I
Ocean.
yeah, that one's just gorgeous. I wanted to get the one with the fish design on it, but uh, I would have had to special order, and that was when ordering was more difficult with COVID. And I thought, well, I better not risk it because who knows when I'm going to get it.
And Mac Winnet said, "Please play some more." She wants to hear some more music. We all would love to.
I'll see if I can get the as I disappear off screen.
Okay. And Max Winnet said that rain drum is amazing.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Okay.
See if I remember this. So that was a little excerpt from a traditional African song. And that one's for you, Annette, if you're watching archives, because she's into African music. I have two of these. This one here is actually tuned to a key so that I could play that African and the African and the Middle Eastern and the Celtic stuff. And actually, yeah, I do want to write a poem to this, a call to Africa, and that's going to be for Annette. I wanted to write it for the show, but I just for various reasons, things keep getting crazy in life, and I just didn't get around to writing the poems that I wanted to write. But anyways,
okay. And okay, I remember you years ago. I wonder if you still do this because this when Gary was still alive. Because you would say you would come to the Speakeasy Cafe and said you would say you would you had to go to practice because you're doing your drum and you played
oh, okay, yeah,
you played your drums to the
the
oh
belly
what the
dancers.
belly dancers. Yes.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah. I'm
still
not.
do that?
It's not something that I'm doing now, but there is an international dance academy here that's
Yes.
possibly interested in having me, and that would be great
Mm-hmm.
uh, because they have a really wide variety of styles, and that I
Yes.
would be learning, probably a wide variety of songs in that for them. And I did play for them a couple of times,
Yes.
and I remember one of the dancers was like, "He's the drummer, follow his lead," and I was like, "Ugh, love that," you know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You wanna play that again? Your instrument. You got any other song you wanna play? Could we love to?
I'm just thinking,
Mhm.
what?
Mhm.
I know what else. If this one's
Okay.
not. I'm not too sure if it's quite tuned, but
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow.
and it's like it's a,
Wow.
a cross between a boron and a frame drum.
Wow.
That isn't what it's supposed to sound like. Actually, it's all of these drums on my wall are tuned down because of the humid weather.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Wow.
yeah, I have a whole. You can't see it, but I have a whole wall of drums. I did it that way for decoration, but necessity too, because I have such a tiny place that I don't know where I'd put my drums if I didn't put them there. So
Wow. That is awesome.
thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay. And you have any more other poems you want to read?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember if I had any instrument-based poems. Just wanna. I'm just thinking of what the. No, I'll just read this one. Okay. And this is inspired by a musician called Glasser. Square your shoulders, steel your resolves, as fingertips make contact with glass. A glass house that surrounds your sorrowed soul. Now close your eyes, incant your own magic. Those words of confidence that overcome your inborn neural pathways. Feel the flow of energy flowing through fingertips. Then feel that energy pool at those fingertips to grow in power till you can feel the energy vibrate and hear it hum. Let your eyes remain closed. Remember all the times when everything seemed impossible. Continue to incant those magic words of personal power. Feel the energy flow through your entire body now as they continue to flow to your fingertips at point of contact. Now open your eyes, feel the kaleidoscope of new color before you see it come. Raise your head to the sky and see that new rainbow of light. Those vibrant reds, those calming blues, the green that intersects and all colors in between. Continue slowly but surely to apply that pressure and feel the glass cage crack with an awareness that it was always possible to bring it down. Feel the pressure rush outwards as you continue to push forward with growing power. And then finally, feel that entire glass house come crashing down. See the glass that lies at your feet. Take one shard as you look up to the sky and feel that rainbow infuse you with its radiant power. Put that glass shard upon your table now, a reminder of just how fragile that cage of glass was. And when you feel limited once more, look upon that glass and feel the full spectrum of light well within yourself. Remember the day when your glass house came tumbling down.
Wow. 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 That is.
And I just wanted to mention one thing. I have it as a note on my tablet. So my friend Tanya there is a musician, and I'm just looking at the notes here if I can find them, because there is a here we go. Because there's actually a few songs she has that's influenced me. First Welcome, Fly the Emissary, Satellite. Oh, the I have your Satellite song. I put down with that. Oh, Proclaimer's Dream. That's what it was. Toys, Fades, Numbers, Fear, and Grow Up, which I just found out today was on SoundCloud. And when I saw that was on SoundCloud, I was overjoyed. I got to hear Grow Up. That was so funny. That was so fun for me. But I just wanted to mention that. And
okay. Wow.
Yeah. And I share like a reverence for certain animals, like Star does, and that. So there's there's a lot of the like friends' influences in what I do.
Yep. And Max Winnett said, "Do you play the Benton Bowls?"
Benton Bowls. I had them nearby me earlier today, just as decor, but I'm looking for where the. Hold on. I just hope this doesn't make the mic go crazy. I'm gonna turn it away a bit. I think if I had it in my hand, it would be easier.
Oh.
That's the bigger one. I've had years and years of practice with the drone tones on the drum, so that's the thing. I don't even have to tap it. I just can start going, eh? But it took years and years for that. It's like muscle memory. It's once you get it, you just got it.
Wow. And Star said, show off the Kalimba, please. Kalimba.
Yeah, that was the. I don't know if the. I don't know if she wanted me to like take out the kalimba again or not. But
Yeah, I think
I
she
should have
meant
put the
to.
kalimba back.
Uh-oh. I think she want you to play it.
Yeah, that was the one that I played. That was the one that I played before.
Yes, I think she want you
But
to play it.
I'll just give it a closer look because I had the blue one and this one here is in standard tuning, and that one is so that one is so I can just play like regular music. Well, not like how do I say like music that isn't in a minor key. So
Okay.
and I want to play like classical music on this. Oh, I like to decorate everything. There's
Wow.
a Luna moth on that. So
Wow. And then Star said your smile at the end of your poem.
thank you.
Okay. And Tantronic said laughing out loud.
Yeah. Oh, LOL.
Yep, LOL. And then Tantronic said, ah shucks. And Naquanet said, I love this man.
Thank you.
And then she said, I knew it.
So
Oh,
I have something here that's of a different tone.
yes,
If people would like to hear it, if you'd like to hear it.
yes,
Okay. So, and before I read this, actually, like, I just like to prelude this a little bit with, like, I used to call myself Robbie Baby Dark Poet of Amore, and the dark part
yeah,
was because I do like darker fare, but it's more not like horror slasher kind of stuff, but kind of the existential stuff. Like I like space horror and kind of like H.P. Lovecraft, like humans are just a small thing in the universe and that. And I think my stuff tends to have that tone to it. And actually, glad I remembered Jimmy Ray Davis, the word machinist. He had mentioned that himself. That one time that my poetry has my dark poetry is like dark, but it has a way out of that
yes.
darkness, which I found to be very intriguing. Anyways, so this is called Every Time You Lie. Every time you lie, a butterfly loses its wings. As the truth of your breath, it loses its truth's depth. Every time you lie, a little girl dies a bit inside. For you see the truth of a stranger, it suddenly loses its ring. Every time you lie, a star falls down from the sky at night. As the truth of the universe, it is being distorted by your false epiphany. Every time you lie, the curse of negative karma comes your way. So keep this in mind. Keep this truth in your heart the next time you decide to lie. So not super super dark, but different from what I've been reading thus far.
Wow, wow. That's powerful.
Thank you.
Welcome. You're very welcome. And Star said, uh, crows, ravens, owls, sparrows, snakes, cats, wood, etc.
Yeah, yeah. She's referring to all the animals that we look at. Yeah.
Yes. And then next one it said, oh my, every time you lie, beautiful. Noreen, where are you hiding this gem? Hiding this gem?
Thank you. And sorry, I so it says Facebook user on there, but well, who is that again? Max.
Next one it poetess, a poetess.
Oh, okay, okay. That's what I thought I heard. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
okay, I have another darker one. If you want to hear it.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Uh, haunted, haunted by a midnight soar of wandering soul that takes flight. I somehow hear the rush of wings of that departed soul on the wings of an owl, as its fierce eyes penetrate my gaze, taking me into the lost hour of the night. I surrender to its thoughtful gazes, as my soul dances around the possibility of crossing to the other side, where all my ancestors and loved ones reside. A deep breath is taken, As all limits and boundaries they are forsaken. And I surrender my trust to this messenger of midnight's breath. And I go beyond it all, beyond the bounds of time, beyond the limits of death. A gentle call is heard as I slowly cross from this side to the next, and I am vexed no more by the question of what may lie beyond, as the world of the other side, its entrance yawns widely for me to explore. As for a spell, on the other side I reside. Eyes are closed now, as my inner eye exercises its power, and the owl next to me, it silently, gently continues to guide me with its flight. I bathe in the power of my ancestors as I steep myself in their wisdom from dusk till dawn, emerging once more in the midnight hour, accompanied by my familiar's otherworldly form. Who, it asks, the who of who I am and was always meant to be. And I respond with silence, showing that I was always meant to be someone who listens to what the world has to say. The dialogue of man and nature seeping into the very pores of my skin as I drink the entire meaning of existence in. I thank that owl now, whose silent flight and gentle might guided me to a place I never otherwise could go. And I show my thanks to her as I look up to the moon and for an entire night sing. So not like dark, but
Wow. Wow. I love that one.
Thanks.
Wow.
It's I love the owl. The owl's just
Mm-hmm.
it's the whole to me it's the whole thing of slowing down and taking the time to listen, because I always have been a chatterbox, but I've been trying to slow down that a little bit and then listen to the other side of the conversation and that.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
so where would you like to go next, Noreen?
Okay. Um, that's when it said, um, nature, dimensions, spirituality, animals, humanity. I resonate with this creative. I can't even finish my work. Laughing LOL.
I think I have a new fan. Thank you.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, and did you want to play any more instruments? You like to play more instruments?
um I'm just thinking what might be tuned better, or let's see.
Mhm,
Oh, I know.
mhm, mhm,
To make some room for this a little bit,
mhm.
I have I have a special connection with this, with the djembe, because
Yes.
my first solo gig was with djembe, and I played for was it AFSCA, African Association here in town, and someone had recommended me, to my surprise, and because I'm not that as familiar with djembe, but I had played and I had sung a little extra in the background, but it turned out, I felt like it turned out nicely, like it just jived with me. And then
Mhm.
someone afterwards had said, well, I love this, that she said, well, when you played, I just closed my eyes and I just went there, and I just love that. So
Wow.
I'm trying to remember djembe casa. Like, there's a very basic rhythm, djembe casa. So a lot of times I do variations on just one basic theme, like,
Wow.
so. No, that's a very very rough impromptu
Yeah.
thing on djembe casa. Like one of my other favorites that I haven't tackled much is bongos. I seem to be a natural on the bongos, and I do have a set, but I've not practiced on it nearly as much as I want to. And that's one of the things I want to. That's one of the things I want to do as we get back into the world after all the craziness of the past 2 years, is because there's such a backlog of things that I want to do and
Yes.
things to tackle in that. And yeah, I really want to get to it all finally.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. And next one it said, yes, you surely do have a new fan. I love your vibes. You make my chakra smile.
well, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And okay, let's see.
I'm just checking on what I've read and what I haven't. I'm just making sure the piles don't get mixed up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And I wanted to put out a shout out to Nyla too, because she's always been a support to me through her show,
Yes.
and that's always being appreciated. She's been like one of my most longest and consistent supporters, and she relentlessly teases me, which I enjoy immensely.
Yeah.
So,
Because
uh,
because Nala said that she won't be able to. I don't think she had to go do something, but
yeah,
she gonna catch the archives
yeah,
if I
yeah.
remember right. Oh, and uh,
Centronic.
Tantronic said, "Let's hear more poetry." She wants you to read more poetry. Okay.
This will be something then, since she asked. I think she'll appreciate this because we both love astronomy.
Okay.
Um,
Mhm.
and so here we go. The Great Attractor, a great entity of universal divine, attracting all in its wake to its musing sublime. What mysteries lie therein, this entity that attracts all in the universe in the pinwheels of its cosmic spin? What sonorous songs does it hold? What operetics of cosmic meaning does it sing, singing them in starlight for our souls to behold? What secret meanings are there to be gleaned from it, this great attractor in the universe that pulls everything in the universe into it? I do not know, but I know that I want its paradox, to be drawn into the source of everything, drawn in so that it may take me beyond, drawn and gravitated to it, immersed in its essence, yet taken beyond, somewhere beyond space, beyond time, and everything in between, dwelling forevermore in the great attractor as I become one with all things. And that is the great attractor, Attractor, and that's based on an astronomical phenomena, an object like it's just huge. It's not even. It's more of a structure than an object. It's so big, and it's pulling everything in not everything in the universe, but I think in the local region into itself. And astronomers don't know what the hell it is.
Wow.
And like I said, like astronomy's been my first love more than anything in my life. Like literally since I can remember, I have loved astronomy, and yeah, like some of my friends know that. Um,
Mhm.
like Star will, send me a link sometimes. Hey, check out this astronomy thing,
Yeah. Mhm.
or sometimes maybe Tanya, and yeah.
Mhm. Okay. And Katronic said, "A cool." Mhm. Okay. I love that one. I enjoyed it. And Contronic said, "I always thought about space." Hmm.
So did you have any more questions on your question list there, Noreen?
Oh yes. What advice would you give? Oh, there's one question I would like to ask before that. When you play your music, do you have anywhere in the online on the internet where anybody can listen to your music that you play, or have you
Well,
just?
I do have SoundCloud, and I have some electronic music there that I've made, just brief little things. Um,
Okay.
and that's under Robby's Multimedia Poetry. It's I have to maybe try. I've been trying to fix it, but because it's the way they have the URL, it's a little funny. But
Yeah.
if you put in Robby's Multimedia Poetry, like it might be a little difficult to get to it, but I am there under Robby's Multimedia Poetry, and it's funny that I was just like musically doodling, if that's a phrase, on my phone with a an app called Soundcamp, and I ended up making a track called New York at Night, and it's actually one of my favorite ones. And it's funny, like that's the way art often goes. It's just you just like, I'm bored. I'll just write a poem or I'll just write a song, and then
Yeah.
before you know it, you have your masterpiece.
Mhm. Wow. Oh, and another question I have: what would you tell a novice poet? What advice would you give a novice poet who's starting out?
Hmm. I've never really thought of that. I
Mhm.
think kind of go with what initial style you're being pulled to, and go with that. And I'd say like mix it up a little bit with like finding your own style, but then also uh, challenging yourself with other styles. Like myself, I still haven't. I used to be a slave to couplet, like rhyming verses, and
Mhm.
that I got out of that, but then I never really got into making sestinas or anything like Nyla's always saying, "Oh, this week we're going to do sestinas," or "This week we're going to do that," or, you know.
Yes.
And I haven't really taken on those forms yet. I'm meaning to, but I'd say challenge yourself a little bit with that, but then at the same time find your own style.
Yes. That's a great advice.
Thanks.
Okay, you're very welcome. Okay, let me see. Do you have any favorite poem that you've written? Any one of your favorite that you like the best?
Oh, the emergence. No, I'm not in New York.
Mhm.
I'm not in New York at all. Pretty far away.
Mhm.
But yeah, the emergence, and that one's actually on SoundCloud, and
Mhm.
that one is one of my favorites, along with well,
Mhm.
there's a moon one I have, but that's the thing. There's several moon poems, so I was just trying to remember like which title was to that one. But there's one of my moon poems that is also one of my favorites. But yeah, the emergence is one that wherever I like play it
Yes.
or it's exposed somehow, like whether it's read or it's played as a song or whatever, it always gets the most hits. I don't know why. It's
Yeah.
just, and I never expected that of that poem. For some reason, it just, yeah,
That's the one that you told me about, and you gave me the link to, and I went on there, and I
yeah.
love it. That is, wow, you did, wow. That's, wow. You,
Thanks.
you, wow. Okay, you did really awesome on that one.
Thanks.
Yeah. Mhm. And oh yeah, how did you come about your pen name on Robbie's multimedia poetry? How did that came about?
Well, my name's evolved a few times. Um, I'm just getting to the easiest chat to track here. It's on
Okay.
StreamYard, I think. Yeah. Uh, I had Robbie Baby, Dark Poet of Amour, and the Robbie Baby part was I felt I took myself too seriously, which I really do think I did, and I wanted to be more playful with it, with
Mhm.
my with my nature in that, and so the Robbie Baby part came in there, and there was Dark Poet because I wrote the core of dark stuff, like usually around Halloween and that, of Amour, and of course because the love poetry. But then I found that to be too unwieldy, like too long,
Mhm.
awkward name to use. Although my name now is pretty long too, I can't seem to escape long names. But I felt like Robbie's multimedia poetry
Yeah.
more encapsulates now what I do, and it sounds like doesn't sound uber serious, but it doesn't sound like too. The other one sounds a little too infantile to me now. So and the thing is like because I used to do that a lot, not as much now. Although that's something again I got to get back to is integrating uh, music as a background into my poems.
Yeah.
So like a call to Africa is going to have the kalimba with it. I'm going to make I want to try to compose my own original but African sounding background to that poem, to a call to Africa, and that would be for a net.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be awesome. Okay. And you, because I know you said you're gonna get, in the future you want to get into. Well, you did a lot. You um what was it in your bio? You was mm, you see that
Was it the electronic music or?
yes, it said Let me see where it was it now where I read it at. Oh, you want to pursue more physical activities like
Oh,
uh,
okay, yeah.
broadly under martial arts, such as fencing, a martial art form, and archery, and you want to learn other languages that is your native tongue, like Polish
Polish.
and
Yeah.
French. Mhm.
Ja wiem troszkę po polsku, tylko troszkę.
Wow.
Just because it's my native tongue, and I just like many people who are novice at their language, I know a lot of the swear words. This is the first ones you. It's the first ones you learn, right? And I'm not going to repeat them here because who knows if there's someone
Okay.
who's Polish here. But
Right.
yeah, that's Polish is my native language, and I want to learn French to read Charles Baudelaire in the original French, and like Les Hiboux, the owls.
Yeah.
And I was reading it to somebody in a coffee shop, and she says, "Oh, that was actually fine." I was like, "Oh, pretty cool." But just a random story that I wanted to share, if that's okay with you, Noreen.
Yes.
Um, the It was funny. Like I was at a coffee shop one time, and I was just talking to somebody randomly, and we're talking about this, and then we discovered that we like poetry,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Well, like read this poem to me," and then she's reading, and then she's like reading, and she's reading, and she's like just totally leaning in, and then she's reading with all her passion, and and then and at the end I was like, "Oh, you're still my beating heart." One of my favorite artistic moments is just someone like just gradually getting into it more and more and more. And yeah, that was
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, 100,000 poets for change is coming for 2022 come up. Would you like to get involved with that too? Where you write poetry on you read your poetry on uh, sustainability,
uh
peace, and justice.
I I generally just write from sometimes I'm willing to write for something, but I really research it before I get into it because there's
Okay,
just so many causes out there,
okay,
and I just want to make sure I align myself with one that I
mhm,
really do believe in, and
okay,
that they just yeah, you want to make sure that it's one that is
mhm,
totally legitimate and everything too, because
mhm,
uh, that's more for yeah, it's more like the business ones that you have to be concerned with that kind of
yep,
legitimacy and all that. But yeah, there's just so many, and but I think someday I would contribute to that. And so I got sidelined on your other question there. I kind of forgot to answer uh, the part of it with the physical activities. Like I do want to do a martial art,
yes,
and just to do more physical activity because I'm someone who has I have so much energy, and if I don't expend it, I just get wound up, and it's like if I'm not both physically and mentally, if I'm not outside myself,
Yes.
like externalized in some way, then
Mhm.
it's not a good deal for me. And I just feel like martial arts would do for me, for my body, what math has done for my mind, with like in terms of disciplining it, calming it down, and that. Because when I took math, I really started to uh, be able to think more structured and be able to like slow down my thought process for other things. And I think once I do a martial art, I'll be able to do that physically, where I'm not like, go off on at 1,000 miles an hour physically, just off of the drop of a dime, so much where I can just
Yes.
like calm myself down physically.
Okay. Um, and Star said, time to wind it down now.
Oh yeah, I think she meant like for the show, or is that how
I
she meant? Is that what you mean?
I don't know.
Or or am I too hyper?
I don't know what I don't know what she meant. And before that, she said, "Gold gold diggers hang our gold diggers hang are online too." Before that,
Mhm.
okay.
So I can do. Let's see.
Mm.
There's a
Does it?
nature one that I have that I can
Okay.
read.
Okay.
And just let me know, just a general time frame of how much you want me to be on.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's not the one. Um,
Mhm.
Here we go. A nature one.
Okay.
The trees speak. The trees speak to me as willows make their symphony of white noise, rustling in the springtime breeze. And I rest under their shade to let my soul rest, to let my body finally settle into ease. The trees speak to me as maple trees mutter their secret song, the song that speaks to the witnessing of history, as they stand amongst the ground of earth, and they witness the history of earth turned over, like the soil that freezes and thaws, the soil that dries and is rained upon from summer to fall, and then to winter and spring and back again. The trees speak to me as a soft babbling of birch. It babbles as their leaves fall to the ground, babbling like the brook that the leaves they fall upon. I sit and listen to the song that the trees sing to me, to the story that this to the story that they speak to me, of the summers in which their leaves are scorched, the fall in which leaves loose their grip, the winter in which the trees' songs are muted, and the spring in which new leaves are newly sprung. Let me lay here and listen, so that I may hear their glorious song, the song that melodizes itself to my ears, and speech that makes me think of the trees, the sacred guardians of earth that continue to stand as sentinel throughout all the thousands of years. And yes, the trees speak, and that is based on the idea of, people call it like the forest wide web, where there's so many chemical signals and everything, and
Yes.
different kind of communications going on in the forest, that it's almost like compared to like the world wide web or like the internet, where there's so much communication going on uh, that that we're not aware of.
Right. Yep. That is beautiful. I enjoyed that one.
Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. Okay. And does anybody have any questions out there for him? And
Yeah, I think it'll be a good time for questions now, if
yeah.
anybody has any.
Okay.
Just wait a couple months here, and I'll.
Okay. Um. In the meantime, while we're waiting, we're Oh, Star said, Ron said, "Where's your book?"
Yeah, I think that's probably about. Hmm, I'm thinking what the realistic timeline is, because probably a year and a half ish, because
Mm-hmm.
I have to look at the local person that I tried to do it through didn't have enough experience, and I'm not too sure. Like I kind of want to do it locally, although if I have to, I'll do it like online. But yeah, I'll have to figure out the whole online versus locally thing. Like if there's another local person that can help me with it, then I'll go for that. But we'll see from there.
Okay. Okay. Um. Okay. Thank you, Star. Okay. Does anybody?
I actually have a book that's that's formatted
Yes.
already. It has to be released, and I do have some poems scattered here and there through older publications, through like Inner Child
Yes.
Poetry and other publications that have been done through the different Blog Talk shows.
Okay. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay. And in the meantime, while we're waiting, where can they find you and your poetry and your music
Well, the
and your
most
photography too?
oh, yeah, most of the links are under my Facebook. There's Robby's. So under Facebook, I'm Robby's Multimedia Poetry, and there you'll see the links to most of my stuff. My photography is under uh, Canadian Geographic. I had a National Geographic there, but since a lot of things changed there, it hasn't been very easy to go there. They're funneled through Instagram now, so all your pictures get lost in the feed. Um, but yeah, the Canadian Geographic for the photography, and I think it's Robby's Multimedia Poetry there too. And then
Mhm.
same name. I try to use it for everything. So same name under SoundCloud,
Mhm.
and so that's my photography, my music, my poetry. Actually, you can find that under allpoetry.com. I was posting there for a bit. I've kind of taken a little lull, but I'm starting to go back in and starting to comment on poems there again, and starting to. I'm hoping to start to post again. But I have a fair number of poems there already. Yeah, I started posting there about 6 months ago, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Because Gary and I are on there, but I haven't posted anything there in a long time in all poetry.
Yeah, that's there's a lot of blog talk
Hmm.
poets on there. Star was just asking, what is one topic you won't touch in poetry? For me, that's pretty easy. I'm not like I have my political stance, my stances in that, but I don't have the kind of personality or gusto for like a lot of like doing putting my political stuff out there in a poem and that sort of thing. And like if someone said, "I can't believe you took this stance in this poem," or that sort of thing, I just wouldn't. I'm just not wired for that. So more the kind of political sort of stuff, or like kind of like where if it's like in a very explicit opinion, like this is what I think on this issue.
Right.
That's yeah, it's my thin my sorry my skin just isn't quite thick enough for that. I don't think.
Okay. Okay. That was a good question, Star. I didn't even think of that question. That was a good question to ask. Wow. Okay. Um. Okay. Can they find you on Reverb Nation too? Can't they? Because you are in Reverb.
Uh, I had one a long time ago. I honestly I thought that that site was gone a while back. I didn't know. Like when I've seen a couple of people on there, I was like, oh, Reverb Nation is still up. I had no idea. I thought
Yeah.
it was like MySpace where it was just gone now. But like I did have something there a long time ago. But I had
Mhm.
closed the account and I wasn't aware that they were still up there. So I
I
put
thought
something
you
on.
were.
I have an account at Mixcloud, but I haven't put up anything there yet because I'm not too sure on how the site works. And like, I think you can post stuff on there, but it's like more so for like really high level professional DJs, and I'm definitely not that. I'm just
Oh,
starting to get into electronic music, like very very elementary. So
mm. And you don't have to on Reverb Nation. You don't have to be up there or professional or
yeah,
that because Gary and I are on there,
I'm
and
gonna
I'm not professional.
well, I'm gonna take a swing by there again because, like I said, I didn't realize that that was up. Uh,
Yeah.
and she has, what poem inspired you to want to write when you started? Um, that would be, I can't say a particular poem, but a particular poet. Yeah, that was so far. That was so like far along, so long ago that it would be hard to remember the exact poem, perhaps. And I don't think it was one exact poem, but I would say generally William Blake. His work was just so.
Mm-hmm.
Was on such a deep level for me, and it and just with the connection with nature and the and then with 17th century poetry in general, like I love the idea of William Wordsworth's Spots of Time, or just that idea of a single moment of time just stretched out into infinity, like just all the details, all the little minutia, all the little moments in it. So if you wanted to be broader, just a little bit broader, I would say like the 17th century poetry. And the funny thing is a professor of mine back in university actually said that he recognized that 17th century was uh, an influence on me, which kind of shocked me because I wouldn't think that someone would be able to fish that out, to suss that out, that that was my influence, because even then I was writing quite a variety of poems. So I was impressed that he was able to see that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That was a good question, Star. Thank you. Okay. Okay. And because um, maybe I saw wrong. But I thought you was on Reverb Nation. I must have seen wrong.
Well, like I said, like I was there a long, 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 long time ago. I wouldn't be surprised if my account is still active there. I just
I
haven't
think so
deactivated it.
because I thought I saw it up there.
Now that you mention, I'm gonna have to probably check it out.
Because if I remember right, I think I put it on Facebook on the event. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
I think I because I thought I found it.
Mhm.
Oh, I can't. Now I forgot. I had to check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out if it's in there.
Okay. Okay. Mhm. Okay. And okay. Does anyone else have any other questions for him? Um, Star said 1 hour 17 minute check.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's about time to. I think like you've gone through all your questions, eh?
Okay. It's yeah. I got all my questions asked.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, yeah, I'll just leave it to you, since you've asked all your questions. I don't know if you want to do one last question check, and then after that, we can wrap it up.
Okay. Let me see if I got uh um. I think I asked that one. What is your favorite musical instrument that you played? I think I already asked that one. I think I
Well,
did.
yeah, is the Egyptian. I don't
Yeah.
think you asked that one, but it's Egyptian tambourine, the Rick.
Okay. Because you showed
Yeah,
that to us. Yeah.
yeah, I showed that already, and that is my favorite instrument. It's like I just like had just held the instrument in my hand, and that was it.
Okay. And okay. And next one it said, "It was great meeting you, brother Robbie."
Well, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Um, okay. This is a conclusion to Have a Chat with Poet Noreen, Episode 4, with guest Robby Matejko, aka Robby's Multimedia Poetry. Okay, and thank you. Okay, and we'll be back on August 30th, 2022. Um, uh, um, I'm trying to get with Michael Rothenberg for the show, and and thank you very much, Robby, for being part of this show. It is
My
an
pleasure.
honor to have you here.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Lots of
And
fun.
okay, okay, it is okay, and uh, Tonic said, "Nice interview and reading."
Thank you, Tanya.
Okay, okay, and and I hope everyone enjoyed this show tonight. Remember to live your dreams. You're never too old or too young. I hope to see you all next month, August the 30th, 20 and 22. And okay, and I hope if anybody out there knows anyone who wants to do the interview here, you're welcome to let me know. Or if you want to be on the show, let me know. You're very welcome to come on here. And have a great night and a great week, everyone. And God bless you all. You have been listening to Have a Chat with Poet Noreen, your host, Noreen Snyder, and guest Robby Matejko, aka Robby's Multimedia Poetry.
Longest name in poetry.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. Okay, you're very welcome. And this has been a pleasure doing an interview with you, Robby. And I really enjoyed this, And thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, and I want to thank Max Winnett, a poetess. I want to thank Tantronic music videos. I want to thank Star Chevron. I want to thank Daryl Halenchek. I want to thank um, Elizabeth Castillo. Um, um, who else? I hope I don't want to forget anybody. Um,
I think if you just scroll up, you should be able to see everybody else. If
yeah.
anybody else that you missed.
Uh, Elizabeth Esquera Castillo. I want to thank her. And I did say Daryl Halenchak. And I think that was it up here.
Hmm?
I think that was it. And I want to thank everybody. And there must be more because there was more because it used to one time it said we had 10 was
Yeah.
on here. So not everybody made comments. So and anyone else who was on here listening, I want to thank everybody for coming here and to the show. And it is an honor. And our future one will be Michael Rothenberg. Hopefully it'll be next month. And Nyla Alisia will be on here too because she already told me she wanted to be on here. It'll be on the fall. And there's so many I want to ask. I have a lot more to ask. I have Daryl Halifax to ask. I want to ask Honey Parker. I want to ask Max Winnett, a poetess. I want to ask um, Elizabeth Esquerra Castillo, and there's so many more. And I also want to ask Never Give Up. He's not on well he's on Facebook but he's with I met him through Poco Shop. Okay, so there's gonna be a lot more people. I'm hoping that will come on here. So and thank you all. Okay, okay, and thank you very much, Robby. It was
My pleasure.
fun. Okay, it's my pleasure too. Okay, and we'll just end it right here. Okay, go ahead and end it.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, okay.